Hey everyone, it's Echelon again with Alchemy Gaming. This time I've got a little bit more Guild Wars 2 footage, but this time around we've got something a little special. At the end of the beta weekend event, they did an actual, goodbye event where they did a special setup for all the members of the beta. And if you're around at the very end of the last night of beta, at around midnight, you could have participated in this. I've edited. It was really long and really amazing, but so I've just spliced together some of the key moments I had, and it was me and Juice, a fellow member, and we had an awesome time. Easily the best event I've ever taken part in an MMO. It was just completely awesome. It was separated into two sections. It was a PvE event for people who wanted to do that, and then there was a PvP event for people interested in that. And honestly, they didn't really tell you what was what, so we just ended up falling into the PvP event. But first, we started here, where we were defending this the Sura area from an onslaught. We were defending these little toolboxes from these thieves. I don't know what happened in the progression of this bit afterwards, but this is where we started. And I spliced this in on purpose because I thought it was amazing that I was resurrecting Juice. But we found these portals and we decided, you know, we're gonna go in here and see what's up. And it took us right into one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. It was called Hunger Royale, and immediately it sort of triggered something. I was like, hunger, huh? Maybe this is like. And as soon as I saw our matching outfits, I knew it was like a Hunger Games themed sort of ordeal. What I didn't know was it was PvP oriented. I didn't realize that. But whenever me and Juice started talking, we realized we were on different teams, we had different color clothing, and then I knew that we were probably going to be pitted against each other, which made this all the more interesting. The green team against the red team. But in reality, it was actually 4 teams, and this turns out to just be the warm-up. But we can see each other on the map because we were in a party before we joined, so we obviously meet up, and a gunfight ensues because that's just how we roll. That's our friendship in real life and in game. We just see each other, and immediately gunfights can start up. We commit to the gunfight, and we act on the committal. Is that a word? I think it is a word. But and then I'm obviously at this point I'm just like, I want to kill Patrick. I want to kill Juice, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to kill him? He's just so killable. Okay, so he's running at this point. It's 2-on-1. He's got nowhere to go. He's surrounded. There's a river behind him. He's got little to no health. The only thing he's got going for him is that me and my friend here were completely out of ammo, and I'll explain that system to you as well as all the other little nooks and crannies of this amazing event in a moment. We're chasing him down, no ammo. We're trying to hit him with the butt of our gun because it's the only attack we have available, and all of a sudden somebody just snipes him right out of the water. I didn't understand what the heck was going on completely until this point, where I finally was able to pick up some items. It's little sparkly items on the floor. You have your rations, you have your ammo, you have explosive rations, which you can set up as traps. You have shield walls, and you have stealth cloaks. And they all sound pretty obvious. You're constantly being damaged, ticking off about 15 life every few seconds, and so you want to keep your health regen, and the only way to regen your health at all is to use rations. They're not worth a whole lot, but if you have enough, you'll be able to keep yourself alive, at least as far as hunger goes in this little event. So I'm looking around. I've come across some structures. I found some food. I've eaten it, but then I run into the first real enemies. I mean, these guys want my nuts so bad. I'm popping everything I've got. I drop a wall, but they're battering me around. I have no ammo, so I pop my stealth and I do the only thing I know how to do at this point, and then run away. But they're just everywhere. I've run into a pack of them, and I've lost my teammates. So I'm running. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna get away, but I drop some food behind me, and these idiots pick it up. They're like, oh, he's just giving us food. No, it's explosive. Look, he's on fire. But I digress. This strategy works throughout the entire ordeal. I can literally drop food on the ground, and someone is gonna pick it up, watch me drop it, and then pick it up and try to eat it and explode. I have no idea. But anyway, okay, so that starting round is over, and this is the real deal now. So I'm on Team Gold. There's blue, red, and green, but I'm representing the gold because I'm first place in life, and they knew that. So as you can see, there's a ton of us now. There's about, I would say, probably 40 people, 30, 40 people on each team, and we're in this huge zone that they've zoned off for this event. This is an actual game zone, but they've sort of cleared it out and instanced it so that it's only us and the structures and the little drops. Fast forwarding, this is the first big team battle, and as you can see, people are popping up walls. The walls will block projectiles and often bounce them back at you, so you got to be careful there. And we're just popping walls. We're trying to get kills. I'm anxious to destroy some noobs, if you will, and I'm dodging behind walls. And that's what's cool about PvP, and it becomes increasingly apparent is that dodging and so forth and the whole active combat system is really makes a huge difference in how PvP plays, and it was a lot of fun. I got exploded because some idiot picked up a ration while I was near him. And when you kill them, they drop all their stuff. So a lot of times, if you drop a ration, but right before you die, you can confuse them because you have no other choice but to like spam F while you're next to these items and hope that you get them instead of the other people. It's ravenous. It's ravenous out there. I'm serious. Ravenous. Look at that. Look at them. We're like zombies, hungry for ammo. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit of ammo, and it's at this point that I'm starting to understand the combat, and I've got a couple kills back there, so I'm really confident at this point. Probably too confident, but I go in anyway. Man, I want this guy. I want him dead. Right, so I lived through that, but I'm slowly starting to realize that the fewer people that are around me, the better I am as an individual, because I have better chance at picking up the random drops that are on the ground. And I've also realized that while structures may have items in them, if you just walk out into areas of grass and woods, there's a lot of times there's a ton of rations. There may not be very much ammo or anything, but there's a lot of rations, and that's becoming increasingly the most important item in the game. I'm trying to keep myself hovering at about 1,000 of 2,000 health. People picking up exploding rations is definitely not helping that charter that I've taken on, but I'm trying my best. As you can see, I just have a better chance of picking these items up if there's not 10 people instead of there's only 3. So we're healing up, we're moving out. It's all becoming a little bit more volatile because if you notice, there's a countdown timer in the quest log, and what's happening is right now our deaths, there's no penalties. There's no penalty for death. You just respawn and start over and try to find some people again. Once the timer runs down, once you die, you're dead, and that's all for you. There's no chance you're gonna win. At that point, I just died. Wanted to cut that out because it was embarrassing. I got jumped. I got some sweet sunglasses. It's at this moment coming up that I realize that lone wolfing it is the best way to do this. But in addition, just avoiding combat is how I could possibly do some legitimate winning, victory. Because I'm fighting this, and I'm going in, I'm like, this guy needs some help, I'm going to help him out. And he disappears. This idiot picks up an explosive ration he dropped. And I'm like, I'm going to kill this guy, I'm going in for the kill. But all of a sudden he's he dives away, and the tide is turned. I'm just taking nuts damage. This guy's after me. He wants to hit me with his freaking gun. Oh, getting shot. So I pop my invis. The guy's confused. He has no idea what's going on. So I run in the opposite direction, and sure enough, I lose him because they didn't see me jump off the side of the cliff there. And that's the moment that I knew. Avoid all combat unless you know you're gonna win, unless you know that this guy is a one-on-one fight, and I probably can beat him, and he probably has lower health than me. And this moment, I see these robots. I'm like, what is going on? What's going on with these robots? Because before this, like one or two had chased me. I was like, what? I don't remember this in the Hunger Games trilogy. I don't remember these robots. But then I realized that once you die, you actually turn into these little probes. And what the probes can do is they can beacon you, where they'll, if they're enemy, they'll hit this scan button in it to charge up. Once it hits the end of its charge, it'll explode and ping you on the map, and everybody else that's around you on the map for people to see. The green ones are obviously the guys that have died that are on my team. The good thing is they can actually drop ammo, so if I just keep following these guys, they drop ammo in my path. I have a ton of ammo. And now there's red guys too, but they can't really hurt you. All they can do is ping you, and I wasn't super worried about it. At one point I had a ton of red ones, and it didn't seem to be affecting me too much. All I knew is that I didn't want to be a robot, because that means that I lost. The good news is Patrick lost, Juice lost, and that meant he was officially to become my robotic scout. And at this point he's like, oh, there's a guy in here, he's by himself. And I was like, well, heck, I want to go shoot him in the face. That's how I roll. So I finally find a guy that is susceptible to my ponage, and I'm picking up stuff, and then I'll go in, and I realize immediately that this guy has got full health and a ton of ammo. I mean, I have a lot of ammo at this point. I've been picking up ammo, picking up rations. I'm pretty much almost always at full health. Then I also realized he's pretty good at this already. He's clearly been through the ringer. He knows what he's doing with these abilities. So I put him on my wall. I'm dodging, and I realize that he can shoot through things except for my wall. So I'm like, okay, I've got to keep my wall up, because this pillar in the middle of the room is doing absolutely nothing. Then he is susceptible, and he's like, oh crap, this guy can shoot back as well. And so we're dancing around our walls and so forth, and I'm like, I think I need to get up on this wall behind me, which was a mistake. It was a huge mistake, because I was really open for a really long time. And then I ran past my own wall because I didn't honestly understand where it was going to be placed. But at any rate, so I knew it was going to run out, and I was like, okay, his is going to run out after mine. I just needed to pop one right before mine runs out. And as you can see, that he still was able to hit me through the wall. I'm not sure. I was also killed later on at the end, my final death, spoilers, while I was inside of a bubble shield. So I'm not totally sold on the shield idea. I'm not sure if it just reduces damage sometimes, or if it completely just. But anyway, before this, he was chasing me. I was running, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta get out of here. This guy's gonna win. So then I see another red name, and I was like, well, you can't really tell what team they're on until you see their clothes color, because everybody's name is red if they're not on your team. So I see him, and I was like, okay, hopefully they're on the opposite teams. And I popped my invisibility, and I darted to the left, and sure enough, they start fighting each other, and I'm out of there. It was like one of my favorite moments, because I was like, oh man, Brian, you're super cunning. And so then I was out of there, and then I just went on my way. I was like, man, that was a close call. Maybe I should avoid all combat, even the obvious wins, because clearly that's not the case all the time. So now I'm just hanging out. Juice has wandered off. We're trying to meet up. I see these guys on the road, and I'm like, how am I gonna? They don't seem to notice me. Either that, or they're in the same mindset as I am. We're just avoiding each other at this point. And I'm starting to see. I see that flash there. I'm starting to see the numbers are dwindling really low for each team. It shows you every once in a while. You know, this is how many this team has. This is how many this team has. And this is how many this team has, and I'm seeing that I'm one of the few that are, and for some reason red team just had a ton of people. They had 22 people, I believe, at this point, and while the other teams had like 6. And I'm like, well, you know what? If I can survive this little thing right here, I think I might be able to be the last man standing if I just keep what I'm doing. I'm starting to see a little hope, and I'm like, you know what? If I win this, I'll be famous. I'll be Guild Wars 2 famous. That was delusional, but that's beside the point. I had delusions of grandeur. I've got people chasing me. I'm doing a solid job dodging it. I'm confident. Our teams are down to 2 people. The red team is mysteriously still has like 11. But I'm running and I'm running and I'm running, and I'm like, man, I really need to get. They can't have that much ammo. Little did I know that they had sufficiently stocked up on ammo, way more efficiently than I had. They had like 25 bullets to my like 10 or 13 or something. And so, but I'm doing a good job dodging, and then I died there. See what I mean? I know it was probably starvation, but eventually I went to heaven, and by heaven I mean I turned into a robot, which is obviously what heaven is. And that was that. That was the event. At the end of the event, we got a little chest. It gave you random effects and random things. It turns you into like banded, turns you giant, turns you tiny, gave you snowballs, just different stuff every time you clicked on it. It was neat, I guess. It was novelty. We just all messed with it for like 10 or 20 minutes. So me and Juice got to participate in this, and I guess I would like to take this last bit of time while we watch me screw around in game to just give you some general thoughts I had on the game, because obviously I got to play the actual game. I didn't just play this event, even though the event was amazing, and I cut out so much more footage. It was intense. It was like DayZ. If you played that, it was just like survival of the fittest. Avoid all contact. Eat food. That's how you survive, by eating rations. But anyway, the game was awesome. The class system is great. I mean, you have like 8 classes, but in each class, the weapons completely. If you change from a sword to a staff, it completely changes how the class plays. That makes the game entirely way more dynamic as far as combat goes. They've really changed up the way they look at skills. I mean, you have a lot of standard MMO abilities and stuff, like AoE stuff like that, but you also are seeing a lot of MOBA, like League of Legends skills and stuff, really inherit into the genre. I think that's going to be a big thing moving forward also. Stuff where you can combine skills with other classes, like an elementalist lays a wall of fire and then you shoot your bow through it and it turns your arrows on fire, doing extra damage. It's all really cool. The quest system is awesome. I mean, it's kind of smoke and mirrors. You're still doing quests, you're just not talking to people, but it's so dynamic, and you'll find yourself wandering off, and then one moment you're intending on going someplace. The next second you're like, wait, I'm like 100 miles away from where I was going, doing something completely random. And it's really cool. I mean, everybody plays together because you're not getting punished, basically. And I think that point should be made, is that you get punished a lot of times in MMOs for playing with other people. You get reduced XP for hanging with your friends in parties and stuff like that. And I think that's changing in the culture of the game, the genre, because I mean, that's the whole point of the MMO, is to play with other people. So in this game, the difficulty of the events and quests and stuff, they scale depending on how many people are in the area, so you don't lose XP. In addition, you can go back to old zones at higher levels and it'll reduce your levels, so you can still gain something from playing with friends that aren't as high level as you. It also makes it where those zones are recycled, where, you know, the zones don't just look abandoned after a month or two because everybody's past that level zone. You know, the mid-level zones are always dead, save a few people who are leveling a new character, and now you can go back and do that stuff again with with your friends or with your friends all or something, someone new, or just to do them and do it, and it'll still get you something out of it. You won't just be doing it with nothing to gain, like you would say run a friend through an instance in World of Warcraft just so they can get levels and gear. There are a few things that are questionable, but for the most part, though, I mean, the game is really good. I mean, as far as MMOs go, I would say this is one of the best ones I've played for sure. Definitely top 3, if not. I mean, I can't say it's the best because I haven't put enough time into it, but it certainly has that special thing that makes you want to play that you can't really explain. I mean, it's not because the game is amazing, and it is amazing, but it just has that thing that's not based on how good it is or any one thing. It just feels like, oh man, I need to be a part of this. Just like, it's sort of like World of Warcraft's addiction. I mean, it's not a great game by any means. It doesn't do anything amazing really, but you want to log in every day, and that's what this game seems to have, and I hope it does, because it's a really good game. And we have a guild in it, and we were trying to really use this beta as a launching pad for our Guild Wars 2 chapter at Alchemy Gaming, because we really want this to succeed, and we want to be part of it, and we got quite a few good members from this, and we hope that people watching this will also consider it, because we're looking forward to it, and we would love for you guys to be part of it moving forward. Well, things I didn't like, I didn't really understand why they would allow people to be a part of multiple guilds. I mean, you can only represent one at a time, but it just seems like one of the good things about guilds is that you sort of get to show loyalty to one group of people, and if it makes it sort of trivial, that guild loyalty feel, if you're just able to represent one guild 1 second and another guild another. I'm not sure how that's going to evolve as far as the culture of the Guild Wars 2 players, but moving forward I would like to see how that's going to go. But really love the game, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the beta event. It was one of the best experiences I've had. It was really innovative, and I was surprised that they put so much time into it. But that's about it. If you guys want to read my full review, you can go to eshplays.com, and I have a full review of the Guild Wars 2 experience. It's huge, epic, long review. Just come on by, and I hope you guys will stick around and watch our future videos here at Alchemy Gaming.